I think it is just about time that we begin. Hello and welcome to today's stream. I'm going to pull up something before we illustrate a design today, which will be a whale inspired Xotempo. Hello, Chill Bill. Cody has made it. Hello, Squirrel Cat, Trainer Charlie, Thunder Trainer, Kid, Carrot. What else do we got? Welcome in, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Why hasn't Game Freak made a pinata Pokemon yet? Good question. They could be saving that for a region set, in South America. Mexico's a rich culture. I know Jack from Subjectively did that. But why do people who stream have a starting shortly thing before they get to the thing? The reason why is because there are always little behind the scene kind of stuff that happen. It might be me adjusting my earrings. It might be me fixing up my audio or my hair or my design documents. It gives us a chance to kind of, and not just that, but we need to give you guys a chance to all, gather together. It gives you a chance to say hello to each other and get the vibe going. So that's why that happens. Hello, Spore. So, like I said, I'm going to go over something that I've been working on. This is obviously the design page that I usually work on, but I've been touching something else up. I've been working on a Dex template. I've already done a space whale already. That is but the legendary of my game. So a space whale is off the table. And I won't be doing an ocean whale. I will be doing a land whale to just switch things up. No, you weren't going to be on. You are not misremembering, my friend. In reality, I actually got to get out of my little appointment early. So I got I guess good news and bad news. So as you guys know, so here's my regular pinky. It's good. I can flex it. As you can see, I can hyper extend it, right? It's a full range of motion. And on my drawing hand, here's the pinky. It's kind of weirdly, you can kind of see the difference. It's a bowed pinky is what they call it. And this injury happened November of last year. And coupled with a bunch of other kind of injuries and whatnot, I had to take a break from art. And so that said, I finally got to go to an orthopedist today, a free orthopedist. And he said two things. The good news is, since there's no fracture, I can technically do whatever with this arm, right? I could throw a fastball, I could, draw, illustrate. Obviously, it'll have pain over time because the pressure of me, say this is the surface and I'm illustrating. My pinky and the bottom of my hand will be on the ground. He's saying I can do with Epsom salt and stretches under the water. So I put in like a basin. I could kind of like fix and stretch this thing out. He said that a surgery would be pointless, but he said there's a possibility I might be living with pain in this pinky for the rest of my life, which sucks because, again, this is my drawing hand. If the injury happened on this hand, that'd be awesome because I don't use my left, but it is what it is. Thank you, Squirrel. Me too, me too. So like a beach whale or Pachycetus. It won't be like Pachycetus. But okay, I might have to change the name Galushy if I'm gonna get comments like that. So Gilush, I did Gilushy because it's a ghillie do or a ghillie suit, and then luscious. So name aside, yeah, Chad, I started working on a Dex page, and I was thinking about obviously how to. It's all good, it is what it is. He gave me good and bad news, so at least I have. A good thing about a lot of things in life is uncertainty is a very scary thing. It makes us anxious. We don't have an answer. At least now I have like an understanding of what's going on because I had an MRI done, an X-ray done, and they're telling me there's no fracture, and I'm like, you're telling me there's no fracture, but why is it bent this way? So at least I got some information down. That said, I'm gonna go back right into the work. And so I went to the appointment early, got out early, so that's why I was like, I got home and I'm like, oh, it's not even 6:30 yet. I can stream. So I'm glad I can stream because, as I was saying, I really, really, really want to get all of the two stage lines done, and I'm almost done with them, which is very exciting. Are the Pokemon type placeholders? Indeed, Cody, indeed. So in reality, the style, which is what I was talking about yesterday, as far as a type triangle, potential type triangle, there would be, some sort of image or whatever, where one thing would be kind of blocked out, right? So, for example, I guess so as to not make it too confusing looking, um, I would basically do something like, again, say we're chaos, order, and flow, or whatever I end up. Actually, gang, you guys might be able to help me. I've been trying to find, something, right? So let's say one is like black, one is well, I don't want to say white because it'll, yeah, let's just do like white, but it's like grayed out, right? Um, and then the middle one is you would kind of like get to see what's like checked off, right? Because that's what I'm trying to. You know what? Actually, let's do it like this way, just to make it easy. I'm gonna do red, not red, but red, blue, and the middle one can kind of be purple because that's like a middle ground, correct? So it would look like whatever the creature's um, selected style would be lit up. And then conversely for class, that would be your lithic, typic, cryptic, all that kind of stuff, right? So I'll just kind of color it in so as to not make it look like types. But the idea is like, I like this system where since there aren't as many quote unquote types, it makes it far easier to kind of at a quick glance see of all the available styles or classes. Um, and so, yeah, I also wanted to do a very simple dex sheet that's very easy to read and not overbearing. Like, I'll see a lot of Pokedex pages and they're like, there's so much information on it. Things that for sure, work and help out understanding things for the Pokemon. But there's like a lot of unnecessary things at times. Obviously, this is a very early pass, right? So I would say that something like this, where I wanted. So also another thing is right with Pokedexes, and I'm doing my own thing to make Xotempo as different as I can while still paying homage to Pokemon. Rather than doing like traditional deck sheet of Pokemon, having the art in the middle and then the thing, I like the idea of making it truly like you're this adventurer who's filling out this book, right? Instead of like a more science like dex. Hence why this page looks so much more gritty and it's got like the paper feel. You've got one side of the paper which is dedicated to the creature. So very simply, right? Creature's name, the design of the creature, and on the right side, the information. Remind me also if there's another game that does this, but I think I found the word that I want to use for my shinies, and I think I want to call them remixes. Did someone say different? Indeed. How this your game nicknames for these spirits called? Nicknames, you would probably get to call them whatever you want. I would say nicknames aren't going to change for Pokemon. You can nickname them however you want. Let's see. Charisma. Yeah, charisma is here. Maybe it could be called Gelusive. Oh, I like Gelusive. Gelusive is cute. Um, I like that. That's cute. Twite, hollow purple. Hey Bonnie, sorry, I'm just getting back from working out. Nice. Welcome back, Sketch. I got weighed at the doctor today and I put on a little weight. I'm hoping it's muscle more than anything. But I haven't been able to really run or work out as much. It's just too hot to go outside. So that will be something I'll work on slowly but surely, but we'll get swole together, chat. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this. I don't care what's going on, but yup. So let me know what you guys think of this page. I really, really like it. I'm going to just do a few adjustments while I wait to hear your guys' thoughts. I am open to feedback for this. Obviously, it's still very early in the design, so don't be too harsh on me. Um, I am going to do a thing where I like. Don't get me wrong. I really like the browns over here, um, but it's too stained. I'm going to try and go for a more paper feel that's a little more cleaner, um, and that way, um, I just kind of reset the look feel of the stuff. Um, and then obviously I can stain the paper as needed as well. Um, paper feel is nice. I'll bring it down kind of like this. And I'm going to take this color here. And it's always very fun to work on this kind of stuff because graphic design is a passion. Indeed, chat. Indeed, it is for me. You know what? Actually, so let's keep something like that. Um, so there's going to be a little bit of that earthy kind of feel. Um, we'll just make it a little lighter in the middle. This will allow it to feel like there's a seam, or not a seam, but like the opening, the fold. From there, yeah, okay, I like this a lot better. And then what I can do is, I think for the mythicals or the mystic level, they will certainly be like trimmed with gold and such. So, a very own menos grande. What does that mean? We don't have heat. We got heat two. Heat two. I've not seen that phone. Well, the Xotempo of titles like the hidden Xotempo or the glutton Xotempo. Well, what do you guys think about an idea like that? I've considered it, but here's the issue with that. I feel like that's very Pokemon. And obviously, I've, borrowed and paid homage to so many Pokemon things. Is that something you guys like? Is that something that's done in other tamers as well? I'm not against it, but at the same time, for now, I've kept it very simple, right? Where I have it just saying Xotempo number 124, which is obviously a random number. I will also be playing with the stat numbers. 100 might be the highest as far as keeping numbers simple, right? In Pokemon, and remember, anytime I say anything negative about Pokemon, it's not me attacking Pokemon or anything. It's just me finding ways, just for my personal taste, not like to be different to be the sake of different, but like how do I change the formula, maybe make things simpler, easier, right? Um, so with Pokemon, you can have like numbers up to like BSTs at 540 and 600 and 320 and all this kind of stuff. Nothing wrong with that. I want to see if I can make it simpler. So I think I would do something like the total is 100 and the max is 20 per. So that way it's very easy to kind of like gauge who's a really strong Xotempo, right? Like maybe like the mystics or the mythics, whatever I end up calling them, maybe they're at most at like 90. Like 90 is considered like uber strength. So that way it just kind of keeps a very similar system that people can understand, right? If you showed a new person Pokemon, like, yeah, like they could understand, like, oh yeah, 320 BST is not as high as 540. But again, you need to have things on the side to kind of refer to, right? Here, if I'm like, oh, on a system of 100, if, this Xotempo's rating, instead of BST, right? It could still be BST, is 78. You'd be like, okay, that's a pretty above, like just, above average, right? Leading on to good Xotempo. But yeah, that's what I think I want to do for the numbers, and for stats and whatnot. So let me see what's going on with you guys over here. I'm glad to see you guys are working out. I'm terrified of whales. Why is that, Zach? Tempo deck, indeed. Hidden Xotempo makes me think of Legends of the Hidden Temple. Love that show. Let's see over here. Is trading Xotempo? How do you mean it's trading Xotempo? Hello, Volt. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Back from the doctor. But yeah, chat, let me know. Do you guys like, I figure I'll keep it simple. Xotempo number 124. Obviously, I could do stuff like Gilushy or Gelusive. You know what? For now, I guess I will say Gelusive. Although I feel like it sounds more like an adjective than a name. But let's just say it. So say with Gelusive, it's like, do I want to say? Sorry, I saw a fly and I just swatted at it. Do I want to say Gelusive, the floral Xotempo? It very much sounds like me trying to be Pokemon without being Pokemon, you know? Finally getting back into Fakemon? Good, 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 good. I can't tell where Gelusive's eye, but I can't tell where Gelusive's eyes are. They're right here. Right here. They're inside the bark. But the little guy's cute regardless. I'm glad. Well, let's just wait too big. They have no reason to be that big. Here's the cool thing. They had a reason, right? Back in, before they evolved into that state, they lived in that world where, creatures were considered megafauna, right? In fact, a lot of the creatures, even of today, the way we've evolved is to, fulfill our niche in an environment, right? In a physical way. We see this happen with, funny enough, fish, right? And aquatic animals. Some fish, like goldfish, for example, you put them in a small glass bowl, and a goldfish will remain very small. If you put them into a 30-gallon tank, they will get really large, like surprisingly large. There is a specific scientific term for that, but it's just so cool that we live in a time where, for example, the blue whale is, I believe, the largest animal to have ever existed, and we get to share a time period with it, which is awesome. Maybe a rabbit Xotempo that kind of mirrors Mew. I don't want to copy that. I don't want to have too many power levels. So, Rue, those are quite comically sized indeed. You used to have a huge fear. Fire trucks, really. I can't even see Gelusive. They're not there. Well said. I love whales, but they are so beautiful. Since I haven't really gotten a comment on whether or not they should need subcategories, I will probably just simply keep it Xotempo number 124 and not like the shrub Xotempo. I feel like it's for Xotempo an unnecessary descriptor. It's, most of the time these creatures are pretty obvious what they're supposed to be. But yeah, I really like the way this page looks. It's very clean. It's very straightforward. It tells you exactly what you need to know and understand. If anything, I will probably color... Yeah, it's subtle, but I'll make this background the same color as this. Although I don't know if it's the exact normal. And I could do a thing where at any given time, I more or less see if, what I'll do? I think I know what I can do. Delete that layer. So, like I said, I'm doing a little bit of graphic design stuff. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to take this here, and in the same exact way that it blends down, I'll do that with the top box here. So, there we go. And I like that it kind of shifts into a diamond shape, because the right side is very straightforward and is very clean. And it's like this more statistical side, so therefore it's clean, it's condensed of the information that it's giving out. The right side is a splash screen. So it's going to be more visually and aesthetically kind of pleasing. Um, so I quite like that the left side can be just a little bit more creatively fulfilling. Um, so that side looks like that. Very good. Um, it could be a thing where maybe depending on the creatures and whatnot, um, or rather its typing, right? Or class and specific could change the colors of the boxes, right? So maybe if it were like if I decide to go purple for the runic type, maybe I color these boxes purple, right? So the pages look just a little bit different for each thing. But I'm also not against you know, keeping them very similar to each other so that way there's a sense of a visual similarity. So we'll see. For now, this really works. Let's see over here. Glusif with the F. The Shrubigo could be elusive without the E to make it. Oh, that's true. I like that. Elusive without the E. Um, let's see here. I don't care if they're still there, but I'm pretty sure some goldfish were let loose upon your mount. Apparently, they grew really big. I would believe it if they could survive. That's the next thing, right? What's the point in breaking out of the wooden pot helping when you're just going to cover your face with wood? But that's just one creature. And it's not that they're covering their face in wood as in like, what's the point? That's this particular line happens to grow into a tree. So it makes sense. I think having number system is fine because then you have to worry about similar to, yeah, and it's funny because there's a lot of funny, weird Pokemon subtypes. Like electric mouse is literally what Pikachu is. So it's a funny categorizing or descripting system, right? Like there are other super, like specific ones. Then there are ones where it's like Bruxish is the gnashing Pokemon. Okay, that's fine. But then, you know, sometimes it feels obvious, sometimes it is needed. But if the design isn't strong enough on its own to like convey what's the point, etc., it's fine for Pokemon. It's great. For Xotempo, it's probably not important. Make sure they can have the same subtype to the same family, but when it's different Pokemon with the same subtype, it annoys me. I feel that. Watch Pokemon Concierge. It's so good. It's so cute. Having them numbered is a good idea. I agree. It'd be cute that instead of scientific classifications, each Xotempo could be given a cryptid-style name. Oh, I like that a lot. That's cute. That's very cute. Yeah. Elusive. The lumbering log or something. That would be really cute. Like the Westwood Stalker. I watched Jack's video on how to make Fakemon. I didn't know he makes the background in Procreate. Oh wow, nice. Is there gonna be a Slender Man? No. Last week's the Shellfish Pokemon, such a weird one. Could there be a Xotempo that has two forms, one being the core form and the other being the spirit? What does that mean exactly? Have you thought about creating a Griffin-like creature? I've been asked that, and that's pushed to a season 2. The helmet crab, yeah. The dwelling root. Yeah, it could be like, rather than saying like the dwelling root Xotempo, it'll be like a Zelda kind of thing where it could be like the lumbering log, elusive. It's here's a cute little way to just add a little more story to them. Definitely something to play with. I like that. I kind of did that essentially for Pokemon Cross D&D, which also really felt like a very beta kind of thing for Xotempo. Even a lot of the redevelopment I did for Xotempo, or excuse me, for Pokemon D&D, I was like, why am I giving that to Pokemon? I'm creating these original concepts and ideas. I should keep it for myself. Gen 2 confirmed. And like I said, only if I'm ever so lucky. I'm not acting like I'm owed a Gen 2 or this or that. You know what I mean? But okay, cool. It seems like you guys like this. Like I said, very clean, very simple, straightforward to read and understand. I quite like it for this reason. You've got the name, my tag, it's basically a signature for the art, very clean. Um, Over here, you have the size. Over here, again, let me know, chat, if you've ever heard of um, remix as a shiny, but I quite like remix form. Just because I was also very close to, instead of calling this style, I was thinking about calling it tempo. So the tempo of chaos, or you're moving to the tempo of order, or whatever I end up calling it. However, I ended up not going with it because um, it feels silly to be like the Xotempo's tempo, unless you guys let me know. Core form is the basic form, and the spirit form shows their hidden true power. That's not how I have the mythology, so that's not really a thing in my world. Um, Always love taming monsters. Heck, I even make my unofficial concept for my favorite China version of Digimon Dragon Warrior Duo Long Dashi from Bai E Animation Studio. Nice. I like the titles idea. Bonnie has Gen 3 already mapped out. He's just not telling us. I'm not gonna lie. I yeah, how I do that. Yeah, that's true. I do enjoy that quite a bit. Um I will say I have like a Gen 2 pretty much mapped down to a T. But I feel like the mythical ones would have. Yes. Oh my god, the mythical ones. We're always gonna have it. To this day, I always uh, not cute quote or like with Ganondorf, Great King of Evil. It's just so when you see that you get shivers down your spine, your spine. So when I play Ganondorf and I'm playing with my friends, I'm like Ganondorf, the Great King of Evil, and then you fight and stuff. I think Remix is from Cassette Beast. I thought that one was bootlegs. Someone double check for me. Um, but yes, for sure, the mythical ones would have like, and I can't wait to design a mythical on stream. I'll do that soon. I'm only gonna do one. I believe the closest to that is calling them bootlegs. Bond, you're too elusive. Will there be a turkey chicken Xotempo? Maybe at some point, because it could evolve into like a cockatrice, you know. Um, but anyway, if there's no other critiques or thoughts, I'm gonna go ahead and probably jump into the art for today. Um, like I said, I think this looks hella clean. I'll play around with the title here, or not title, but obviously finding fonts that fit the vibe of Xotempo is very important to me, as is just a lot of, you know, rules of uh, design in general, right? Making sure I can use um, the font. I see a lot of people just use fonts without double checking um, ownership and whatnot. Um, so, you know, the look feel of something can be made or broken by one piece of design, right? If it's a font that doesn't fit, the colors, the movement of information. So, you know, just like I said, just wanted to kind of give you guys a quick look at this side of the design process. I like something simple like this is nice too. This is like a nice header kind of feel. Otherwise, the official font that I've chosen for uh, Xotempo is Arco, and this is the look for that. It might be a little too cartoony for a header, which is why I have it for the subheading. But yeah, that's an end. It's a ghillie do. It will evolve into an end, Gabby. But welcome in, welcome in. Hello, Nick Crosmo. Also welcome in. Stream is about my own monster tamer. Let Bonnie go wild. He would hit Gen 10 before Pokemon does. Very true. Yeah, Chad, if you want to fill in Nick Crosmo while I get to today's prompt, that would be awesome. When are you gonna start drawing? I'm gonna do now. But yeah, I wanted to show that kind of stuff because development is, you know, lay out the ingredients. Hell yeah. Um, yeah. Hope you guys like it. It's simple, very clean, very effective in my opinion. There's no frills to it. Um, and yeah, today we will be working on two creatures, right? Like I said, two stage lines. And we actually have seen in Pokemon, and I'll just put it on the screen just to kind of give you guys. We obviously have one whale, right? It's this guy. That's one whale. But you might be wondering, Bon, who is the first creature gonna be? And it's this guy. And when I say this guy, it's not loading for some reason. Ooh, there he is. Can you guys see him? He is very tiny. Can anyone see who or what that is? Um, Hand lettering would be cool. It's definitely a fun. It's not very feasible for career. I have like friends who are awesome at that stuff. But yeah, anyway, what I will be working on today will essentially look something like this. So the first of the two, chat, who here knows who this is right here? No, this is Wailord, and this is Wishcash. So at the end of the day, Pokemon, as we know, is based off of a ton of yokai. And a lot of people didn't realize that Wishcash is also based on a Japanese yokai called the Namazu. And the Namazu is very, very, in some instances, very cute. Here is like a mascot kind of version, right? But it can also be very, very terrifying, much like many yokai are. And here's another one. You can kind of see how similar, Wishcash's design is to this at the end of the day. So you can see all these people scrambling for money, which we see on Meowth's head, right? Walmer, 3, his girlfriend Skitty, Codfish. How about a Leviathan and Anglerfish mix for what? Evo of Barboach, Namasu. Thought you said Samasu. Definitely not for a career. I thought it was the Earthquake Maker, pretty much. Which is why he's a ground water type. So I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys about Namazu first, who will be the first stage form, and I'll make it like a very cute version. And it will also then, it will evolve into another cryptid that has a very similar vibe. And that's what Xotempo is all about. The evolution is all about vibes. Welcome in, Alex. So, Namasu. Okay? This is a yokai, as you guys can see, very much a catfish, right? But basically, the creature lives under the islands of Japan and is guarded by the god Takamikazuchi, enshrined at Kashima, who restrains the catfish with a stone. When the Kashima god lets his guard fall, Namazu thrashes about, causing violent earthquakes. The legend of myth in Japan is that a gigantic Namazu, aka the meaning is catfish, lives inside or beneath the earth or in the mud, which causes earthquakes. The association of the Namazu with earthquakes seems to have first occurred in the area around Lake Biwa. Around the 16th century, the Namazu had been depicted in the Otsu pictures from the city of Otsu, which were manufactured in that area. The earthquake-causing creature became associated with a deity and foundation stone in Kashima, Ibaraki. According to the myth, the god Takamikazuchi, enshrined at Kashima, restrains the catfish underneath a stone, Kanameishi, perhaps foundation stone, but more aptly, a capstone. When the Kashima god lets his guard fall, Namazu thrashes about, causing violent earthquakes. So, widespread connections between catfish and earthquake in Japan were not present until the late 17th century. That's all we really need to know about its background. As far as the look and the design, that's what I kind of want to go for. There's some really cool look feels for the creature, and that's what I've been doing when I develop Xotempo. Here's another image of Namasu. Here's the capstone we were talking about that the god uses to slow him down, which I can absolutely use in my design, right? So it'll be a very cute kind of catfish. I could even kind of make it a mud skipper, right? But anyway, let's see over here, catch up with you guys. The catfish that collides with the wall of caves making earthquake. There's something about Wishcash design that bugs me. I can't put my finger on it. Interesting. Uh, let's see here. Maybe you thought the name could be Daijing Yu, as it means great whale in Chinese. Wood-fired pizza? I would love that. Let's see over here. Is this the same inspiration for Dondozo? You know, Zenith, I'm not sure. I don't think so. Namos is very specific. And in fact, he kind of got a Porygon treatment, understandably, in Japan, where actually, you know, Japan suffers from a lot of earthquakes. Um, and there's been very catastrophic events. So earthquakes are obviously a very touchy subject over there. So Namasu and in general a wish cache like a Pokemon like based on that is as a result kind of not necessarily frowned upon, but it's just kind of poor taste to maybe put them in the spotlight per se. So Kazuchimon, I can definitely see the inspiration for sure. Basically for you know, somebody like Dondozo, any kind of big whale-like or fish-like entity, right? So let's go ahead and get started. And as I said, this will be for the first stage, right? Hello, welcome, Draco. So I will make this the first one, and then I will talk about why I chose Namasu instead of somebody else, and then why it's going to evolve into the creature that I chose. Like I said, above all, I really want to do designs that thank you for asking, Draco. It went as well as I expected. As I was saying at the top of the stream, there's good news and bad news. In that the good news is I don't have a proper fracture, which is something I knew. But there's a chance that they said that surgery wasn't an option. It would likely not fix or remove the pain. And it would just kind of jeopardize, you know, that area for no real reason. And I'm like, yeah, this is my dominant hand. What I illustrate with, I don't want to like mess around with it. The good news is I could theoretically do whatever, but the pain will kind of forever stay there. There's a chance he wants me to like do Epsom salt baths for just the hand, stretch under the water. So I'll like look up stuff on YouTube. So just to alleviate stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so hello Dingus. A D&D game? Nice. Welcome in. I'm just getting started and doing the stretches. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this very simple. I think I want to make it again something like a mud skipper. So it's less a catfish. It'll have like catfish elements, I think. And it'll be a mud skipper based on, and he's very cute. So I could see myself pretty much using these guys as a very clear inspiration. I can even incorporate, as I was reading, the rock or the head. And I could do that as the kind of like crown element to the piece, right? So it should be very, very fun. And it'll be very simple, and it'll get us to the second design of the day. And again, I'm waiting for a day where, if I have time, I do kind of want to work on the Yeti. So we'll see if it's that day today. Yeah, at least it's not too bad. Exactly. You know, I've kind of learned to manage with the pain and whatnot. So it's all good. It's all good. Above all, I was saying I'm glad that at least I have, you know, information about, you know, that kind of puts me at ease with the situation. I'll get started now, and we'll make it very, very cute, simple, and straightforward. So, obviously, proportions. I'll use this mud skipper kind of guy right here. I think I'm straight up just going to put his eyes at the top, right? I'll have it come out just like the actual mud skipper. And I know you guys don't like, um, if anything, you know what? I'll have a thing where I'll have the quote unquote mustache carved into the wood of like a catfish, you know? Um, and you know what? I really like this very cute catfish guy right here. Reminds me of that one kind of like um who's like the king of the universes in Dragon Ball Super. You guys know who I'm talking about? Crap, I'm getting just like the other day when I was doing the frog guy, getting Pepe the Frog vibes. So maybe what I'll do is I'll give him the body plan um of like a mud skipper, but not the face. If anything, you know what? Let me do this. Yeah, that works. Keep it simple. Oh, you know what? And then I'll do kind of like a rock balancing on his head, which is like a nod again to the fact that, or you know what? It's not so much a rock. It'll be like a wooden kind of hat, so to speak. And it's supposed to be the rock that contains Namazu's power. I think that's cute. Oh yeah, this is peak design. Like I was saying before, I'm pretty soon going to be doing major line work for, like the main designs that I want in my pitch Bible. Um, and I'd love to do that kind of like side of design. I do a lot of, you know, early sketches and like the development stuff, but I don't do a lot of finalization kind of work. So I'd be doing it on my iPad. So I got to, again, figure that out exactly. Um, Could the whiskers be branches coming out of the totem? It could be, and that would make it look naturalistic. But I like the parts of the totem that feel as much as, like, say, branches feel like a very smart thing to do because it's like wood like. I like deliberate carving more because it means this was a deliberately created entity, right? Um, Now there are probably for sure some creatures that are probably worth um, having it feel overgrown and stuff. For example, the pot inspired body shape for I think I'm gonna call him Shrubebe. Shrubebe will evolve into elusive. That feels right, because it fits like the style. Xeno, yeah, I think his name was Xeno or Omni King. Yeah. Every time I hear the word catfish, I think of that TV show. Yeah. Bonnie, what if the member of your community wanted to draw their own Xotempo? Maybe because it gives them ideas, it would probably be fun. Yeah, I mean, everybody's free to do whatever, Like, I may own the concept and world of Xotempo and finalize all this kind of stuff. Um, the only reason why I'm not, again, it's not like I'm saying, like, you guys can't do it until I give you the all clear. It's more like I haven't properly developed the world perfectly yet. And I'd want you guys to create your best work um, after I figure out the rules, right? Because then, you know, down the line, if I change something and it's no longer true to the concept of the world, then, you know, we're looking at like an outdated piece of art, if that's a thing. Right? So yeah, with this mud skipper, I'll basically kind of give him a body shape that looks like this. I'm gonna give him. He's got a very Magikarp kind of feel, huh? Where he's like pathetic. Where Magikarp looks very pathetic, we're find him very cute. This guy feels pathetic, but he's like, I'm good with that, you know. Um, I think honestly something like this really works. Let's lift up the back just a bit. Honestly, I could also see this guy evolving into the bunyip that I evolved from yesterday. Because it also has whiskers. You know what I mean? Interesting. Interesting. And then maybe I can move the Afonk to another line, potentially. Um, so, anyway, I will go ahead, now that we've got the Mud Skipper out here. Speaking of which, there are a lot of um, creatures that um, I might have to go back, chat, and essentially just give extra energy to their designs, right? So, for example, the baby seahorse. I don't really have a mythology associated with him, so I have to kind of go back and find something that fits for him. Same thing with the first form of the mushroom line with the cordyceps. I like it a lot, but maybe I could put like elements of, say, the Xotempo into there, and I think that could be very cute, right? So it might be something. It might be a fun thing to kind of. And I did this another day before, so maybe that's what I'll do. After I finish the 2 stages, because the 3-stage lines would be next to finish those up. I would then need to do, let's make the eyes even bigger, chat. Let's just go all the way in with the big eyes. If I got all this real estate. I would want to do a thing where when it, say, comes to not restructuring, but like just doing the second passes for like the drafts, taking a look at that first run before I really figured a lot of things, and just make sure I have like an associated concept for them. So I was thinking, yeah, Xotempo for the base form of the cordyceps line. I could see what would be the seahorse one. It could be any kind of sea spirit that I manually, move over into a seahorse, right? Same thing with the mermaid line, the very first line, back before I had decided like I was gonna really lean into the myth stuff. I think I'm gonna make the body very muddy because he's an earthquake causing catfish. Then the body itself, I guess it could be. I don't want to go with like a yellow just to like brighten up the design. So let's see. Will there be a Rat King Xotempo up? There will be a Rat King in the future. He's a derpy boy indeed. Competition to submit our own designs to be in. No, it is definitely not a competition to submit our own designs to be in Xotempo. It would just be more a fan thing for you guys to kind of just do your own stuff. I think I figured why the mouth lips look weird. Totems have those lips, but they usually have them open. Gotcha. Shrub Baby. Corn Tempo could be the name of fan-made? Corn Tempo? Looks like he sniffs glue. You take that back. Pathetic and submissive. There are also fish that have functional legs, like the frogfish, toadfish. Copy. fan tempo is probably easier. Bonnie, can I give you old mod design? Did you can totally change it, but I can't find any use for it. Not for Xotempo, because yeah, this one is like my baby, my child, you know. So um, I really want to live in the designs I made for this, right? Like, um, and you know, I already have all 111 planned already, which is really nice. Um, so yeah, let's see. I'll do yellow for the lips there. Um, Maybe you can have like a little black there, and then let's color. Do I want to do yellow? You know what? Might as well. I'll make this like a blue, I think. Oh no, Wishcash has blue. I can't do blue. I'll make it like a pink then, or like a red. I know. Oh, you know what? New Peppo would make a great blobfish too. So maybe I do. Maybe it's not New Peppo for the mushroom one. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's like Fairy Circle. Maybe Fairy Circle would make a better first form one. You know? Out of a Fairy Circle. Oh, maybe I do a fake out. Maybe I do like a mushroom line that becomes a pixie, or a pixie or a fairy, and they're born from a fairy circle of mushrooms. I like that. That's gonna throw people off. I gotta find the right pink. It can't be too. I feel like if it's hot pink, it looks a little too silly. Might be something like that. I'm gonna tell my kids this is Kyogre. It's not. Um, Out with old Peppo and in with the new Peppo. Well done. Oh, Shioden. Shioden. The rock-like thing in his head looks like a ring pop lollipop. Nice. Skip Earth. Uh, Counterfeit Xotempo. Ornamud. Ornamud is cute. Bubblegum Pink. Ona Mazu plus Mud. Kissable. Hey, yo. Um, okay, so actually, you know what? Let me make these like a brighter yellow. Okay, that's better. There we go. Yeah, this guy is awesome. Tsunami. Tsunami, which are usually due to earthquakes. Not bad, not bad. Chad, I think I'm kind of finished with this design, you know, as far as a first form. It just needs to be simple, straightforward, cute. I don't think I really need to do too much more here. So maybe we could work on a third Xotempo. Now it depends on if I get this next one done in time, which, you know, sometimes design can certainly take longer, right? In this case, it's a little faster than usual for the first stage, which in hindsight, yeah, first stages can go faster. But I digress. Okay, so he looks pretty good there. I've noticed a lot of my first forms are very much yokai. Mudkisser, Onamatsu. Um, okay. Getting rigid, blocky, straight, like structural shapes, or the helmets are always like the main goal. So by the end of this, I will have really spent a lot of time to make sure the not just the body shapes are different, but the mostly in the helmets for all the babies. Attempted called the landslide bolter Wayland? Like Wayland, the name Wayland. I've never met a Wayland in real life. I wonder where they're hiding. I'm pretty sure Wayland is a name. So happy and bliss. Yeah, he's so cute. I'll say one thing. If anything about a lot of my designs. The first stages are all, for the most part, very, very cute. So I think people will react well to a lot of these designs. What are the helmets for? They're, I mean, I guess as much as they are masks, they really are helmets, huh? Chat, you know what to do. I'm going to keep letting you guys answer the questions until we've got it down to a science. Also, because I answer it all the time, I get bored of answering. Which is not blaming, newcomers and all. Just, okay. So he looks pretty good to me. Earth Kawaii. Oh, that's cute. Earth Kawaii is cute. Could there be a goose? Yeah, there could be like a golden goose. That's like a mythology in its own right. Um, but again, anytime I do any sort of Xotempo, like it has to be something that I feel very inspired by. Right? Like I get a lot of pitches for stuff like, oh Bonnie, could you base it on this or that or blah blah blah, this anime or this video game or this mythology. Um, the best work comes when you're inspired, you know? So, for example, I'm not going to make fan art for a show. Like people have asked me, like, can you make fan art or a poster or a print based on this? It's really popular right now. You would sell a lot of money. Okay, money and stuff is cool and all, but like, I don't think I would do a good job creating art for it because I don't have a connection to it. Therefore, my art won't feel inspired. It'll feel like I'm there trying to take advantage of people willing to buy that stuff. You know, that's just not my style. Same thing happens with Xotempo inspiration. You know, I could do a lot of designs based on this, that, or the other, but just like I said before, I had to cut a lot of Xotempo because why would I put out the coolest and best and awesome designs from the beginning, and then if there's a part 2 or a 3, if I'm ever so lucky, then I'm like shit out of luck because I used a griffin or a chimera or an owlbear. All these, there's already so many cool creatures. Gotta let these creatures shine, right? Um, People are gonna find something they love many times over in this franchise. I'll stand by that. I'm only putting the best of the best designs by the time I'm done with this stuff, right? There's also the mythology that goose particles turn to actual geese. See, so that's something that could also be inspirational for that line. A true jump scare would be that big smile slowly turning into a frown. It would be really cool if I made it that the Xotempo's wooden helmets and whatnot, their features could kind of emote and move with them. Um, because it's magical anyway, right? But you would sell a lot of money. I don't think that's how it works. Did I say that? My bad. Is there going to be a vegetable lamb? What people thought cotton plants were? Oh, that would be really cute. Again, for all those kind of questions, the answer always is going to be maybe, right? When you exchange $1 for 4 quarters, are you selling that dollar? That's such a fun question. Um, Depends on the person. If you want to sell it and look at it like that, then sure. Um, Also, again, when you guys are telling me these concept stuff, tell me what a squonk is. I can't say yes or maybe or no if I don't know what squonk is, right? Welcome in, Ninja. Okay, so here's the first guy. He looks pretty damn cute. Let me hear what you guys. I want to see it down the chat. I want to see what you guys think about this Xotempo. If you're willing to risk your life, if this guy was in a landslide and he needed your help, would you dive in? I'll go ahead and clear all of this. I'll put Buddy Old Pal right here. And I'll start telling you guys about the second form for this guy. the board game box art's gonna look amazing. Oh man, like I could do a day where I spend time developing out, maybe if not like a regular poster, like a potential box art, a pig that's so ugly knows it's ugly and melts from sadness. That's so sad. I hate that story. That makes me so sad. I mean, that sounds like it could certainly be some sort of Xotempo. Where is it from? I commit. I'm not even gonna say that out loud. Looks cool. I like him. I would. Good, 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 good. That's how you know if it's a good design or not. So we are going to work on the next cryptid. This was pitched to me a while back, one of the 111 designs that I'm doing, and it is called the Slide Rock Bolter. Okay? Is a bizarre creature and fearsome critter recounted by the lumberjacks of North America during the 19th and the earliest 20th centuries. It is believed to live in the mountains of Colorado, but only on mountains where the slope is at an angle greater than 45 degrees. It has an immense head, small eyes, and a large mouth which is similar to a sculpin. Y'all know what a sculpin is. I'll look it up myself as well. Okay, here's a sculpin. So I can use this guy as like some inspiration. It tails and a fluke like a dolphin with enormous grab hooks. The slide rock bolter is said to have caused great uneasiness among tourists visiting the mountains of Colorado. This fearsome animal uses the grab hooks on its divided tail to latch onto the crest of a mountain or a ridge. It will often remain motionless for days at a time, watching the gulch below for tourists or any other hapless creatures. Once it spots its prey, it will lift its tail to release its hold on the crest. As gravity sends it barreling downhill, it draws grease from the corners of its mouth to increase the speed of its huge body. The bolter scoops its victim in its mouth as it slides down. The accumulated speed will carry the bolter up the next slope, where it will once again grasp the ridge with its tail and weight. So, obviously this thing was never real. That's just pretty insane in every conceit. It's a very, insane prompt, but that's what's fun about it as well, right? I would cause a landslide in his name. A Valravan, don't know what that is. I could honestly see one of the legendaries of Tempo being based on a certain element and emotion. Have you decided the name of the mud skipper? I have not. The swamp is a fearsome creature critter? Really? From northern Pennsylvania. I'll definitely write that down because I would want to do a pig one down the line. The Lumberjacks Joe Cryptid, aka Fearsome Critters. This is spicy. Nothing's too spicy for you, Sketch. Don't lie. So that is the Slide Rock Bolter. I'm going to go ahead and get some art for you guys of this creature. Here's the first one. And it pretty much, feels like, I don't know, a prompt that it just feels like I know what to do right off the bat. Here's a description, a visual description. You can kind of see its tail hooks. Here's its mouth, which, you can kind of see a very catfish vibe, which is now you see why I chose to do Namasu, right? So there you go with that. I'll go ahead and just kind of make that a little bigger as I pull up more concepts. You can see also why I chose the mud skipper, right? Because it's essentially a land whale. I already have like a space whale, and I already have, like a shark. So I don't really feel super compelled to do another oceanic kind of whale. I can definitely do one for a part 2. Here's another version, right? You can kind of see it's the way they treated the tail fins here. It's got smaller claws. I guess you can kind of see them as hooks. I might make mine more literal. Because, why not go crazy with this kind of design? File's name is Skibbity Sigma. I swear to God, I couldn't have wrote this. But this file's name is Skibbity Sigma. Okay. Here's a dumb picture. I'm not going to use that one. Oh. There's really not much else, actually, as far as art. See, this one is just too goofy and silly looking. It does not look scary to me here. Um, but let me show you what a sculpin is. Funny enough, I did not look up a sculpin before, and me using the mud skipper turned out to be a really great um, choice because look how similar it looks to a mud skipper. So I might use elements of this for the design as well. Um, Here's another shot of a typical sculpin as I get started. So actually, you know what? In that case, I'll just delete this because this doesn't really help me. So the body shape for this one, I think I'm going to make it very simple. It's going to mostly look something like this, like almost like a seal standing up. Because it'll be like a large land whale. So there might be one right behind you, not in this world. I'll swing on it. How would the slide rock boulder get up the mountain anyways? Can it fly? Apparently the idea was that it would grease itself up and then kind of like go like sliding up and down based on how it sent itself flying. Oh yeah, so let me write about right here about the squonk on the side. Bonnie makes me think that he ate the Tempo devil fruit. Speaking of fearsome creatures, found when for a future tripod alien mech? What is that? Oh, I guess something like War of the Worlds, right? Fresno Nightcrawlers carry it up. Monk is very warty and wrinkly. Could add frogfish or toadfish. What if it disguised itself as a cave inside a mountain? Could be. There's a cryptid from Colorado which is described as a crocodilian serpent living in the. Yeah, there's plenty of cool stuff. I think Fruby made a fake one based on the squonk. Nice. Rockfish. Oh yeah, rockfish would make sense. I guess above all, I would want rockfish for sure. But what kind of unique whales are out there? Oh, you know what? Because again, I want to do stuff that we haven't seen in Pokemon. Maybe, so I'll look up rockfish. That makes sense. Oh, rockfish doesn't look as rocky as I thought. So maybe less rockfish. You kind of got Magikarp vibes. If you guys want to see, here's the rockfish. That's kind of like Magikarp, huh? With the vacant expression, the bulging eye, the kind of crown-like fins, the very orange color. Types of whale. American Cryptid Inspiration. What if had a Yellowstone geyser blowhole? That would make a ton of sense, right? That's a really smart idea. I love that a lot. Gray whale, common mink whale, beluga whale, humpback whale. I've essentially made my god Xotempo be based on the sperm whale. It could have narwhal. No, I won't do narwhal. That wouldn't fit. In whale. Blue whale is very much already kind of owned by Waylord, so I'm not going to go near that. I already have the killer whale as my Aklut. So maybe, as far as whale goes, I think it could be very cool to base it off of the basking whale. Because the basking whale's mouth is really much open. And even though it's a very peaceful creature, screw it. Let's just have fun with it. I could also still use elements of like the baleen and stuff and like the different kind of styles, right? Of whale. It's not like it's just one kind of whale and that's the end of it. Right? Blue whale, yeah, what a beautiful creature. The gray whale, mink whale. bowhead, bride's whale, humpback. I'll go ahead and show you guys the basking shark. Check out frogfish or toadfish, sperm whale. You know this kind of got already. Bowhead. You heard about the? Have you heard of the hide behind? Now, are you gonna say hide behind where or hide behind what? Humpback whales get barnacles in them that end up looking very rocky. True. Stonefish is rockier. Gotcha. So yeah, it'll definitely be more. Oh, this is perfect. It'll definitely be more. I think the basking shark more than any other kind of creature. Um, okay, so here's the basking. Is it basking shark or basking whale? It's basking shark, but it's considered a whale. Um, Stonefish. Yeah, this is what I was thinking of when I heard rockfish. The stonefish is also pretty ugly, but pretty cool in its own way. Um, Here's a cool shot of one. They've got that kind of catfish kind of lips, so that works. I will also look up the toadfish because that feels like I can kind of get like that. Toadfish! Oh, this is a toadfish. He's so cute. Oh wait, toadfish looks like the other guy that I used the other day. R/marine biology. Toadfish are pretty adorable. Oh, look at this one. What the? Looks like a Muppet. All right, so I think that's enough inspiration. We've got pulled out a lot of stuff. Um, I'll go ahead and get started on this fearsome Xotempo. Highly venomous. Okay, body posting poisonous rockfish. Copy, copy. A crown of candy. So good. High binds an actual future. Oh, no kidding. Tell me about it. What's up, JC? Welcome in. Welcome in. Asking sharks and fishnets. Oh, I like that. Um, so like a celebrity walked in. JC, they love you as they should. Your mod. Uh, the basking shark is not considered a whale. Same with the whale shark. They're considered sharks. Really? Huh. Okay, I must have. I feel like that was information I read a long time ago in like a kid's book or something. So I could be wrong. Um. So let's begin. Very strong start for Namasu, right here. Um, go ahead and merge everything. I will move my references a little bit. So yeah, I really wanted to like kind of stand upwards like a seal with its hooked tail in the sky. Um, and then really just have fun with this one. Because again, I could have just done a land whale and it swims in the desert. Like, it's boring. Just might as well, you know? Um, can be violent here. They can bask in their own destruction. They can bask in the sun in of the conquered land that they have claimed. So, all right, let's go ahead. I'm going to give a very general body shape that I think will work, which is like really using, um, that cryptid imagery with the open mouth that it gulps its prey after all, right? But conversely, I will also use the basking shark, as I said before. Like, it just makes a ton of sense to for a creature that's like got its mouth open and just kind of eats everything. And what's cool is like I can make it look as if it were, um, some sort of creature that is opening its mouth like a cave, right? Like it could like stay at the top of the mountains and stuff. Um, and yeah, I'll have it so that its like body is a very unique silhouette too, right? Um, Oh, maybe it's got like hooks to like hook in. I can extend the mouth out like this. And the basking shark has this kind of like unique um patterning inside. Is it gills or some sort of like some sort of thing inside? Um, but I'll have that be evident in the design so that people know what it is. Um, maybe I'll have its eyes bulge out just a little bit, and it could still be like the derpy but cute, you know. My God, it looks horrifying. How do I do the eyes for this guy? Maybe there isn't derpy cute for this guy. Um, Also, I'm not sure if I love the fins coming out to that extent. Let's see if maybe it's more like. Yeah, let me do something like that. Um. Oh, you know what? And then what I'll do. Um. I'll have like the hooks here. I'll make this kind of look like a mountain. You know? And maybe it's got like these kind of mountainy kind of scales essentially. I kind of want the base of the mouth kind of maybe look something like that. Because it's still got to look like a Xotempo at the end of the day, right? It's got to look like a creature that you would still, that's still your friend, that's somebody you can, you know, train with, grow with. If it doesn't, then, and it's like too scary or too this, then it loses its like potential appeal. I think I will give him like catfish whiskers. So maybe he's just got like, maybe him and the bunyip are friends. You know what I mean? Um, but wow, two in a row asking for the totem wood heads. Um, with that idea for its design, I can't but imagine the boulder going part of your world, part of your world. The concordant emperor. Well inspired Xotempo uses shark as inspiration, JK. Yes, your majesty. Legend of the cave mouth fish. Um, stalagmite spikes would be really great. Um, for sure, for sure. Although, part of me thinks it doesn't need teeth because it just, the whole point of the slide rock bolter is it doesn't crush its prey with its teeth, it swallows them whole. So I don't think it needs teeth, but it could be cool just to um let's see, it might look cool. I'm not against it. I really like this design though. I think it's really cool. um Again, it doesn't need to be a massive, gigantic. Um. Oh, you know what? That's cool. That kind of shape feels kind of like almost like an anchor. Um. Like I like the sharpness here, but then it's also got like the curly Q bit. Maybe that's how it feels for earthquakes, or not earthquakes, but like it can feel when people come close. You know. Um. What do you guys think so far? It would be cool if he still had the same eyes from before. I think it needs Stunfisk eyes. What does that look like? Um, All right, let's go ahead, give him his tongue. Headphones are gonna die. No. So what you're saying is I shouldn't scream obscenities for everyone in the vicinity to hear. Let's go ahead and how does that track? He needs some milk. Realize the shachi hoko? It's posed. What is the shachi hoko? Slide rock boulder. It does feel more like a fish than it does a whale. So I'm wondering what I could do to like add that whale-like kind of feel. Because I did get like the whale shark. I got that part down pretty well. You know? I could move its eyes up here rather than down here. It's the tail. I think this tail feels a little more like... Oh, you know what? I could also do something like this where like the tail is hooked that way. Imaginary fish that has a tiger head? It's the tail, maybe more whale. He needs more whale. He's more like Fish Kite in Summer Festival Japan. Pretty cool. More like Koinobori. Okay. Maybe it's the eye. Oh, you know what? Maybe... Let me look up... Oh, okay. I think I know what I could do. I could also give it... a little bit more of a snout. Oh, so whale... So is it really a shark? Hold on. Let me double check. Because now I'm... Whale shark. Oh, I'm sorry. So whale shark is something else. Oh, whale shark is a slow-moving filter feed carpet shark. Okay, hold on. So I'm not doing whale shark. It was basking shark. Is the second largest living shark and fish after the whale shark. Oh, so it is a shark. Huh. So let me see if maybe I can combine it with a whale. I think that's what I'll do. Whale yokai called the Bake Kurjira? Yes. I do know of that. So that would definitely be in like a part 2. Or maybe style more like Shachi. No, I want it to be more like this one. More whale-like and more baleen. I agree with you 100%. So what I'll do is looking at... Yeah, that's what I'll do. Let's go ahead. I'll move this part. I'll do this. And then... Yeah, if I do a flipper, that will certainly give it that whale feel. And then what I can also do is I can add like the whale like wrinkles, you know what I mean? And they could kind of like be the underbelly. And hell, I could even add the eye here. Because the whales usually have their mouth, you know? What if the baleen is like hanging moss? Baleen, first of all, is just crazy. So, yeah, it could certainly be something like that. It could be stalactites too. Um, Pretty much Shachihoko Merline, or yeah, definitely something like that would make sense for sure. Um, there's my favorite things to draw are the Chimera ones, you know. Now, I think the baleen, it's on the. Is it on the top or the bottom? It looks like it might be the top. So maybe it's. Yeah, teeth kind of really don't fit the vibe. Hmm. I'm gonna make him angry. Yeah, I'm gonna make him a little angry, I think. So he's like, oh, but you know what? That feels like it's very Gyarados vibes, right? He's even got like the whiskers like Gyarados as well. So maybe not. We'll see. Oh, you know what? So he could spray up water as well, like a geyser. Now, do I want to have that part of the design? Probably not. But he could, and it would be like a geyser, right? Um. Oh, wait a second. I think Shachi Hoku I kind of used for Matsaya, I want to say. But I was going to change that anyway. I found another cool cryptid. Maybe I can work on that quickly today. Um, oh, what happened here? Um, all right, let me start coloring. It does feel like a whale now. It does certainly feel like a whale now, which is nice. I don't know if I can get the baleen across. Would people, I mean, I guess people would know. Hmm. Okay, and I think as for colors, I think it's very straightforward. I think it's straight up. Um, I think it's just straight up brown, earthy kind of tones. You know. Um, and do whales have other flippers here? Might as well. Because I want it to look like a mountaintop. What if it had more scared face as if it doesn't like swallowing things, but it's just too big? Maybe. But see, I don't know. Scared as a personality, that makes it sad. And like that, maybe it would be like. Now I'm getting Weeping Bell vibes. You know what? So maybe it is just a derpy face. That also kind of gives me Weeping Bell though, right? Crap. Wooden teeth? Hmm. All right, so let me do the eyes up here. What if I did its eyes closed like this? The flippers are there? They could be shaped like trees. True, true. That's gonna add a lot to the color palette. So you know what? That's what I should do. Why don't I just start coloring this guy right now and kind of go from there? let's just go ahead and start trying. So gray could be very boring, but as far as mountains go, it makes sense for like a land kind of whale, right? I really see only a design where it's like maybe it's like that, and the baleen side is like more yellow, you know? I like the lower eyes. If there was a Xotempo show, an episode where the cast mistakenly go, yeah, exactly, 100,000,000%, 100 million. Let's go ahead and then I'll have it a little hard to tell, but it's supposed to be like white tipped. But then that begs the question: how big is this Xotempo? It could be a pretty big one, and I could always make it that, you know, since they're Xotempo, their sizes can truly vary, you know. Um, the inside would have to be rather dull, right? Should I give him the whiskers? I really like them, but I feel like it does make him more like a fish, huh? Let me try without it, unfortunately. My answer is to always give things whiskers. I can give him the small. Actually, do whales even have nostrils like that? Yeah, right? I like the color palette. George is like a handlebar mustache. It might have to be, because then it'll feel like less. Actually, this guy's got the handlebar. Nostrils are below the blowhole. Copy. So this does look like a mountain, right? And I certainly think the brown is a little more interesting than the gray. But let's go ahead and continue to pull up the references. Oh, you know what? I could also a whiskers. I love whiskers in a design. Not gonna lie. I could also add like barnacles, but they'd have to be something else. I don't like the brown. It looks like a drumstick. It might have to be gray. You know? Something like this. Oh, and then you know what? The brown can be the under half. Right? And now, do I make the tongue pink? Blowholes are the whale's nose. Copy. Copy, copy. Opposed to sharks, they don't have blowholes, right? think it needs some green. It could potentially use some green for sure. Looks like he just ate a lot of chocolate. All right. What do we think so far? I feel like I'm kind of losing the design. I'm wondering. Hmm. Okay, hold on. If I do a shape like this. It's kind of in the shape of mounted. Definitely intentional, right? Definitely intentional. I think if I open space here, and that way I can kind of get like the whale, you know. He's really doing like a seal kind of pose. Really. Okay, hold on. Something is kind of coming to me now. So that definitely feels more like is that the landmail suggestion from Colorado? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mentioned it earlier. Someone in the chat mentioned it. So it was you, Cole. It is the Slide Rock Bolter. Chocolate? Yeah, this guy loves chocolate. So let's see. I really wanted to make it feel like a mountain. Let's expand the design out just a little bit. Um, so let's do. He's definitely. What do you guys think? Make him scary or derpy? I mean, there's a way to kind of make it both. I already have like plenty of cool, so 100. It worked out. It really worked out. So I'm glad. Um, okay, so in that case, yeah, let me do the eye. Yeah, the eye down here. That makes sense. Um, it looks like he Frenched a freaking chocolate donut. That's the only issue. Scary. Definitely dopey. I love this. Oh, here we go. I like the eyes low. Um, what if the brown and gray were switched the way it feels like dirt? More ugly, goofy. Love this. I love that it's everyone's different things. Um, I'm gonna do this because I like that it's kind of balancing a little bit. The reason why I have brown at the bottom is because it covers itself in grease. Like some sort of like grease like substance to slide. So I was like, oh, it makes sense if the mud is on the bottom. Um, so we'll get the mountain part. Let's remove this. I want the mouth to be even more bigger. Makes sense, yeah. Um, let's see if I can do. So we'll do. That's the mountain, right? The mountain shape that I'm looking for. Oh, you know what I could do? It could be like something like this where the bottom half is like all this kind of mud caked on. So it makes it like this rocky kind of shape at the bottom. That feels right. Um, so it kind of makes it feel a little more craggy more than it does smooth. Its hooked tail fin could look like a geyser shooting out of the mountain. True, 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 true. I want it to look. Well, I mean, that would look kind of like potentially a volcano. Um, let's do. Okay, so I mean, one way or another, this is a pretty insane looking whale, which is new. Like great for me. I want to create like crazy animals, right? You know what? Maybe it doesn't need the exact shape of a whale shark. Yo, this is like insane, chat. Maybe like, yeah, the fins look like another peak for the mountain. Wow, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Um, so maybe this part is like tipped with white, tipped with white, tipped with white. Use volcano as a tail? Nah, 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 nah. Volcano is its own. Well, volcano is its own thing. It would change the vibe of an earthy thing into something more magma or fiery. Um, well, I do say this is a very well designed. Thank you, Hikari. Welcome in. Kind of looks like it's upside down on its back. That's ill. I think it's lost a bit of whale body tape shield. That's true because I'm kind of like forcing it to be very rigid, like a mountain. Um, I wonder. It's also giving me slowpoke tail vibes. Oh, what if it's like floating? What if I made it like this? It's like a second. That way I can keep this space right here. I do like the idea that it was flat on the earth. If I do anything with fluidity, then it kind of loses that rigidness that I want. It looks like it's not a tail, but a mountain shooting out of its back. It doesn't look like it's bending its back to me, but attached to its back. I like the one on the left. Thank you. That's the first form. Um, there's definitely a way to, yeah, still kind of curve it up like that. Spin more like stone for a camouflage. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I mean, not that it needs to, right? This is not a Pokemon where they evolved to like better themselves and survive in the wild and whatnot. It's more like, this is just the way these creatures were created to be. Because we'll get too into the lore, but they are replicating, the mythologies of the world. And they're as they like cross over. What if his tail goes into multiple peaks? That is true too. It doesn't have to be like exactly like how the descriptions have been, right? The best way I say my Xotempo designs, not only are the evolutions a sum of all of its parts as it goes, but it's like a game of telephone as far as mythology, right? When people are saying like, this is what the slide rock bolter looks like. Um, this is how I saw it. This is how I saw it. And then I get to it and I'm like, this is how I see it. For this universe, right? Um, looks up space whales from Treasure Planet. They kind of, this is what they look like. Nice. Saw that a long time ago. I barely remember it. Yeah, you know what? Why not lean into... Oh, I like this. Because now it looks really like a cave and it just nestles into the ground. I like the rigid underbody. Hello, hello, hello. You know what? And then it'll have like a single blowhole here. That's like a smaller mountain cave type of not opening, but that's for its quote unquote blowhole. Okay, yeah, I've come back around to liking the design again. Maybe as Bigfoot like flippers it uses to jump off. They're also hot spring. Love the telephone game idea. Tail looks much better. Cool, cool, cool. I mean, it's because I've extended the mouth so it feels more like a whale, right? Um, Kind of moved away from the catfish vibe, which I liked, but it didn't super duper fit, right? Um, okay, now as for the tail, see, so the suggestions I got volcano or geyser, that's like an ever present movement you guys are describing. So while water could shoot out, it's not as interesting because you have to wait for the animation. Versus if I do something like hooks are very much a thing that we associate with rock climbing, right? So just might as well like I can still have it be the brown part and you still see the mountain element, right? Um so I'll just do something like this. So there you go. I think that's my slide rock bolter. And again, it doesn't have to be the exact version that you pictured in your mind when I read the description, right? The idea is this is how this version of this creature lives in my world. As far as a first pass, right? Who knows what the second pass might look like, right? Um, and as a result, we have this like really like what a crazy looking creature, right? We would never have gotten this if I didn't try to challenge what I expected rather than say, for example, looking at this and thinking I need to make it exactly like that because that's the art I got, right? Looks epic and big, looks cute, and thanks, Rosa, welcome in. And that's what I want to do. I want to have designs, as I said before, more and more cuter kind of designs for that variety. And so I love subverting expectation when possible. Sometimes it is cool to just stick to the thing that people might expect and give them what they want. But you know, times like this where I can like take a really horrifying concept and then make it, wait, whales have tail fins? Why don't I give it a little bit of a shape here? Rather, since it needs the fin to cut under the ground. That I'll do rather than having it at the top. And so this part right here, it's not true snow. It just kind of looks like. Oh my fellas. Love his little mad eyes. He's angry. Um, yeah, okay, cool. I think this is really working for me. I think I can definitely play with the proportions quite a bit. Um, again, I could have done stuff like stalagmites. He doesn't need fangs. I think it makes it look silly. It's unnecessary. Um, I could see potentially like someone mentioned the baleen, and yeah, maybe making it like green, um, just for a pop. I mean, I'm not against it. It's like a cave entrance with like shrubbery, right? I'm gonna maybe make the mouth a little mossy baleen. I'm so happy that it makes my heart happy. Good. I like kind of like to think they're constantly yelling, holding one note like an opera singer. Unless it's an orca, no. But this is fiction, indeed. Mount Ocean, mountain and cetacean. Mount Ocean is cute. Mountation. It looks like he's just saying wow. Green looks goofy. I think he was perfect. Yeah, the green looks a little off-putting. Um, let me see. The green does feel forced. Could be white too. Because I was going for like a basking shark type of thing. Maybe he doesn't need to. Yeah, he wouldn't really need to filter. It already does feel like a whale. It could be. Maybe the inside has got like a slight green to it. Oh, that's okay. I like that subtle green for moss maybe growing in. Not that it's actual moss, but and then I would probably play with proportion in the final one. Um, what is giving icy vibes? Yeah. Um, do you guys feel like it's too much like Weepin' Bell or something? Let me look up Weepin' Bell. Because he's got the mouth at the bottom. He's got like flippers, kind of like Weepin' Bell's thing. Weepin' Bell's kind of got a hook. Kind of ironic how that worked out. Way better. Hmm. A lot of the mountains in Colorado have evergreens. I think some green spots or green would definitely look good. Maybe I shouldn't do too much. I mean, could be like a layer like this. Okay, you know what? Oh, you know what? Let's keep this simple. Maybe, maybe the hooks are more that. Yeah, I think smaller is better. They're like more hooking backwards than they are extended to the side. Uh, yeah, simple is always better. All right, this feels pretty good to me. I don't think it needs, yeah, it doesn't need that. Maybe it is just gray there. Again, I do think for the final one, I will probably really extend how open the mouth is, you know? Um, and I like that, yeah, it's kind of like a pseudo cave opening, you know? And it like kind of, I like this sharp line contrasted with the ridges of like the whale. Yeah, you know what? Let's just extend these out. Let's see. Bud skipper. Um, is that no? Let's keep the smaller fins. I think Bud Skipper is a little too simple for the first form, in my opinion, as far as a name. It's cute, but I sticker of him. Buy the game one day if it's ever real. All right, so here we go. And part of me wants to just give him a. You know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll just give him tiny little catfish kind of like whisker tips. And then I'll just. It'll break that space just a little bit. Will that stay? Maybe, maybe not. But it's cute for now. All right, so we have a. What's cool is so not only do I have a whale, its vibe is different from um, the whale that Pokemon has. And it looks unlike any whale that people would probably expect to see when I say that I was going to create, you know? Whale lied, 1000% by the game. Hell yeah. Whiskip. Might be close to too much to Whiska. What's his name? Wishcash? Whiskash? Ready to fight, but they're all buds. That's true. They're all buds. Imagine charging towards. Exactly. You know. Oh, hold on. Okay, I think I got a cool name for this guy. I think again, nothing is ever confirmed just because I say it on stream, as I keep saying. I like Mount Terror because it sounds like like Saint. What is it? Mount Saint Helen. So it sounds like Mount, and then the name, but it's actually Mount Terror. And maybe this guy Wallow, Whale Hollow and Hollow or Howl. That's cute. Earth Kawaii is cute for sure. Um, Earth Kawaii cake. Earth cake. Earth Kawaii. Well, Earth Kawaii doesn't roll off the tongue as good as I thought it was before. Mount Terror. Okay, so we have Mud Skip. It's a mud skipper, right? And it's also Namazu. Alright, you know what? Yeah. You guys love names. I like names. I'll try and figure it. Awesome name? For now. May not stay. So I'll do okay, a mud skipper. Oh, Mudkip. Mud skipper. Goofy. Dumb. Buddy. Mount Terror. Mount Terror. Yeah, it might be going a little too far. Um, like Mount Terror does the job already. Mount Terra. Well, Terra is Earth. Mount means like mountain is like a pile of earth anywhere. So Mount Terra doesn't really um isn't really a portmanteau that gives more information about the creature. Terror is a word that tells us we need to be scared of it, right? Not that you can kind of look at it and be like, oh, it's a little scary. Mount Skipper. Oh, that's cute. And it sounds like a mud skipper too. Um, I like that I made his flippers just a little bit bigger, so his body's like kind of hanging up. And then when it evolves, it like lifts it upwards, right? Goofish. Goofish is cute, actually. Goofish. Now Terra's the vibe, like you say, with the same Terra as Godzilla. Love that. Mount Skipper is very cute. I kind of like Goofish. Although I might think Gooey, you know? How about... Hmm. Oh, maybe it's instead of Mud Skipper, it could be Mud Skidder. Because he's like skittering across the ground. And like you skid when you slide. And the idea is the whole reason why it's called the slider when it evolves is because it greases itself up in that like what is it, mouth juices, or in this case mud. So it's a mud skidder. Muddy Buddy. That's cute too. Mud. What if it's just Mud Bud? Yo, it might just be Mud Bud. Uh, Whalanch. Whalanch doesn't have that ending that I need. With Clay, great name, like it. I like Mud Skidder, Mud Bud. Clay would make sense too. Oh, I mean, well, maybe not as much because it's more mud. Like it's still like crawling around in the mud. Crawl. What are this army when you like crawl through the mud in the army? Mudskid. Oh, what if it's Mudskid? It's like Munchkin, Mudskid. Mud Skipper. Instead of skipping, he's skidding. So I feel like it's instead of Mud Skidder, it's either Mudkid, Mudskid, excuse me, Mudskid or Mud Bud. I like Doofish. Madoof. Nope. Nope, it sounds a little too much like another famous doof that we love. Um, but anyway, I think that's a wrap on the whales. I feel very, very good about it. Um, Muddy Buddy. So I'm gonna move these over into. Now this one's gonna be tricky because again, it can't obviously be as big as a mountain, nor can it be um even bigger than the kaiju mon that I want. Which now that they're starters, can't be as big as they were before. It's just it would be too much. If they were like more like pseudo legendaries, they could be like bigger. But if they're meant to be your partner, I want them to. Honestly, this might be a good size right here. And there could be like maybe in the anime, there's like a giant one, maybe. Because you can't just release him and he's like this big. Because I would make it like the biggest one by far. Maybe they could still be pretty big. Maybe they could be like something like this. Conversely, I want him to be kind of big too. Like he's probably larger than normal first stage. You know? Oh, Mount Tremble is a fun one. Although it's more than a tremble, right? Mount Tremor, maybe. You know? Would catch them. Good, good, good. Perfect size. Mount Tremor. No, like Mount Terror has it. Whales are huge. Whale Lord. Yeah, but this is not Whale Lord, right? Because I still want them to feel like creatures that are by your side. You know what I mean? Um, Maybe it can be a little bigger. A niche house? That's cute. Yeah, definitely. You know what? Might be something like this big. That feels kind of good. I want my kaiju to be giant, at least game is that tempo. If it were more like they were before, for sure. Um, but I think they're. You know what? I guess I will do a quick one of let's see, because it won't be a situation like Blastoise or Charizard where they're like really tiny next to you. Like I never like that. They'll probably be like 6'5", you know, something like that. So if you're a kid and you're like 4 foot, they're like giant to you, you know, because they're only kaiju in concept, right? They're not um, like especially if they're starters, they've got to be palatable, right? Um, I'll quickly do. Yeah, that looks good for the second stage. He looks like a good size for like your teenager that you're raising. And then it would probably be something like, yeah, still like this is very Tyranitar kind of size, right? That feels this feels really right. He still feels awe-inspiring without being like Charizard is like 5'2", right? Have you seen legendaries walking with you in BDSP? Even Arceus is your height. Maderpy. Ooh, Maderpy is cute. Kill for Mudbud? I would kill him, and you should. So yeah, this looks good. Um, Actually, even that feels like really big compared to like say like my guy is 6 foot here, maybe like 8 feet. Again, I think it differs, you know. Uh, mouth, mouth ten, mouth ten, mouth tin. It would have to be AIN, mouth tin. Not only is that kind of hard to say, but like I feel like it just describes two things, right? It kind of just says it's a mouth with a mountain, which isn't bad. But Mount Terror, once again, it kind of there's a pun kind of feel to it, and it kind of tells you how to feel. Like in addition to seeing it, like oh yeah, you know. Like someone mentioned yesterday, for the Afonk, they said Afauna, but fauna is already animal, you know. So it's like saying this is an Afonk and an animal. It's like oh okay, the design already tells us that. So the design already tells us that it's got a mouth and it kind of looks like a mountain. So the name doesn't need to further describe that. Right? The kaiju's are going to be starters for this current vision that I have. They have been upgraded. Mouthin, like Kathan or Nathan. So here we go. There they go right there. Um, Tomorrow I will do the basket hyena into the were hyena with maybe elements of the Krakota because the Krakota doesn't have a lot I can pull from. Um, so that would be yeah Wednesday, and then Thursday I'll do Kefri, which will be Scarab Beetle stuff, which will be cool. Um, Now what else? You know what? maybe I will do. Oh, you know what? Before doing this was supposed to be Shuchi Hoko or something originally. Um, it had whiskers. It had like tiger-like, as you can see, there's like a tiger-like pattern here, and it was going to evolve into Matsaya. Well, turns out there's a cryptology that Mewtwo Rhino. It's not Mewtwo, but it is a Rhino. But thank you. That one definitely needs a lot of work. It's definitely like kind of a placeholder. I can't wait to get back into redesigning these designs. Can you put out a video soon? No, no, no. It's gonna still be some time. I have videos planned, but I will also not be sharing a lot of these final designs. I need you guys to buy the product to see it, right? Game Freak releases maybe what 10% of their entire decks. What kind of businessman or creative, no publisher that I get signed to or that I work with would be like, yeah, let's show them everything, right? I don't mind showing you this guys this kind of stuff because it's so early development, right? Like you guys have seen my Fakeamon go through major transformations. So many of these, yeah, like they'll have the spirit and stuff intact, but they're just gonna be a million times better. So I will do like, just like Pokemon does, I will do like slow reveals of certain lines. Um, the stuff that you guys, and remember, you guys are my audience, my stream audience. I'm going to be trying to pitch this product to studios and companies, publishers. Um, if I showed them that my roadmap is pretty much done, that's more of a chance that they'd want to back a project like this, right? Um, but yeah. Anyway, so I can share only a little bit here and there. I was saying about the eel. Yeah, so yeah, giving all the content is a surefire way that no one will invest. Gulp eel, I have. They're pretty crazy. But anyway, Matsaya I'm basing into a dolphin, and this is the Ganges River Dolphin. They've got like a very specific look. So I found out that instead of doing Shuchi Hoko here, I'm going to base it on the cryptid of the Ganges giant blue eel. And it's not a super exciting design, but it allows me to transform this design pretty simple and straightforward. And I can still keep a lot of it intact. Is it like, to me, it felt like a very simple design that didn't have a lot of legs anyway. So I'm just gonna kind of quickly develop this out. Also, I realized none of the creatures show their mouth, so I'm gonna make this a very long and thin Xotempo, which will be a fun way to, like, again, I was talking about the diversity of the helmets and the masks. So I'll have the mouth look like this. And yeah, it's going to be a very simple one. It'll be more of an eel. It'll have like a blue body. And it'll be based on the Ganges giant blue eel. So pretty easy. Really like this one, me too. But it was not well designed. It was very lazy. I remember that day. It just felt like a design that still needed, like, it was kind of like, oh, what could I do? And then you guys like Shichihoko. I was like, okay, and that was it. And like I said, it broke the rules of the Xotempo face showing, like the mouth showing. So that in itself was always gonna change. Take care, Rosa. Have a good one. We'll live with the wait. Yeah, and look, like I said, if I have to, you know, if I have to create this product, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a product. Um, Again, if you look at any developer, they don't stream creation of things. They don't, you know, I'm doing a lot of development, because I want to share and be excited about this project. Um, but in reality, yeah, like we got like a Pokemon announcement for Legend ZA, for example. We're not going to get anything else. I mean, we're going to get like again, maybe 10, 20 new Pokemon. I mean, as far as a new game like that, they're not going to introduce a lot of new Pokemon. So the amount of Pokemon we're going to see in itself is very, very little. So same thing where I get to show you guys a lot in the beginning, but then as I start um, really fine tuning a lot of um, the concept, it's going to be stuff that I gotta hold on, because I can't show you everything. That would be boring. Like when you actually play the game to know every single thing. Oh, that's just bad. It's not good. Um, it's gonna happen. I can't imagine again um that they would do that where they don't show both. I mean, the install base for the Switch is I'm just straight up pluck the color from that. The install base for the Switch is insane. For them to be like, no, you have to buy a new console to play the game. Exclusivity is obviously very important. You can only play Pokemon on that console. But that's, you know, denying the biggest market you have. Like, it's a different story if it's like, oh, okay, if it was on Xbox and 360 as well, and you're like, um, I'm going to, more or less give it exclusivity because a publisher paid extra money to force people to buy, their console. You know? All right, there you go. Donji's Blue Eel. And yet another kind of Indian inspired um kind of creature. The Shuchihoko deserves a better design for a more interesting uh line down, it was always gonna get adjusted. And there's still plenty of other creatures that I still gotta adjust. You know? You know what? I'm not gonna give it a fin. I'm not gonna give it a fin. Make it really feel like an eel. Even though the fin does have like kind of a thing up in the front. This will be painted on and it'll look kind of like gills. Oh, you know what? Yeah, why don't I just mark the mask like that? So it'll have like a very thin face. Um, that way you could use the Shachihoko for something. Clone drone danger zone. Really, all the coding? Wow. How do you feel if a newly revealed Pokemon is close to your fake mon? Um, there have been concepts that have been similar. One crazy one was like, I created like a King Gambit thing before King Gambit was a thing, where you had to like defeat other Pokemon to evolve it. The coloration was insanely close. The concept of like a boss over the others, like people in that True Green 7 video like just commented nonstop. So Bonnie just casually created King Gambit. It was like really fun and cool. If, say, in Legend ZA, there's a creature that looks similar, I would, yeah, I would probably go out of my way to make it less like the creature. Um, I wouldn't be able to have a claim to the creature, even though I may have created it first. I wouldn't know. They're working on their designs in silence as they should. And above all, they're a bigger company. So I could always say something like, "Oh, I designed this concept first," and then people would be like, "Who cares? Like, you stole it." Even though I might have the receipts. You know what? Yeah, let's make the ribbons more interesting. So the design has yeah. So there you go. As a eel, it now has like a cool shape going on. And I'll make the ribbon part like really glossy. Um, Looks cute. My only hang up is that they have waited for other consoles to be more established before they develop for it. Who's your favorite so far of my Xotempo? So have I feel like I recently answered this and I already forgot the answer. Um I don't know. I like so many of them. I like the bunyip that I just made recently. I love him a lot. I love this guy a lot. The preta. Um hmm. I mean, I love honestly so many of them. My favorite will probably be this though. I'm gonna like just make the Ak look insane. Nintendo usually pays big time publishers for exclusive or timed exclusively. So does Sony. So do all the big three. Like B2W. What is B2W? Released on DS when the 3DS was released. It wasn't until 2018 that we got anything on Switch. I like the Switch success probably won't be too different. So Switch version, Switch 2 version could be made. I think backwards compatibility. Um, yeah, I have a feeling that the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible, 100%. Um, for sure, for sure. Maybe it could be like per lesson too. Oh, the pants. Honestly, like, what's funny is the pants is absolutely cute and awesome, but I think everyone's love for the pants have also made me just be that much more endeared to the pants design. Like, I do think it's a very awesome, cute design. Fish to a wolf, absolutely. A fish to a wolf into a orca wolf, basically. Um, Okay, cool. So that feels more conceptually connected to that design as well. Ganges river eel into a Ganges dolphin. Um, what else do I need to do? Oh, you know what? I still have to do the mimic. I'll do a day for the mimic. So that means I would only finish the Tuesday. Oh, maybe I'll stream Friday too, just to really finish it up. Um, it's 2:25 now. That's 8:57. Why don't I stay on till maybe 9:30? I am going to um I think I'm going to do the Yeti. I don't know. It's too early to say. I could see it being both. I could see two different markets. Um Realistically, a board game or a card game like Yu-Gi-Oh would far be the way to go. Development for a video game takes years, right? And same for tabletop games. People don't understand. Like I made a well with the help, not that it was my project, but I was the principal art designer for a tabletop deck builder, and that took 2 years. And we self-published that with Kickstarter, and it was such a journey. So, for indie people to even develop a game, it could take years. Um, the bureaucracy of it, development, just, Fortunately, I've done so much already on my own. So, you know, that helps. But, um, you know what? That was. I'm going to do. I feel like I just want to keep it simple. These like that. Um, it's becoming anything Bonnie can convince people to fund. Exactly right. What was the book called? Which book? Um, oh, or the tabletop RPG thingy that I made. I still think TTRPG would be great. I agree. Something that would definitely set it apart. Exactly. And a lot of cool things happen to those kind of games. They end up becoming video games, right? Like I think Spire is like a very successful TTRPG or deck builder that has like a video game variant. People don't understand there's a lot of lateral movement that happens. Also, I'm just gonna straight up just jump into building a Yeti. Um, it's going to be so originally my Yeti concept looked like this Viking thingy, but this became a frost giant. I'm going to do a cuter humanoid hybrid Yeti thing. Oh my god, wait a second. It's going to be a while before before I finish my two-stage line. There's still 4 designs I gotta do here. So you know what? I will only finish this next week. Because I gotta do Mishi Peshu Firefox and Tanuki Bulge. Alright, no worries, no rush. I just gotta get it done. Instead of third-party content for other games like 5e, nice. Yeah, even then, right? When you think about like 111 designs, like OD for even something like that. But you know, it exists. Um, but yeah, I'm making a pitch Bible. That's like my first number one goal. That's what makes this feel real. So I can pitch it to people and they're like, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. And then I tell them I've done 111 designs. I've designed the human characters. I've written out the major beats for the story. I've developed the world. Like, I'm good to go. Are you? So I'll probably have to grab a I would love to get representation with an agent, you know. You guys know anything about that kind of stuff? Feel free to let me know. That Mimic Xotempo is going to be this Friday. Yeah, if not Friday, maybe Monday, because I do take, Fridays off. And now that I realized I was only going to push it till Friday, because I thought that was the last one. So I might still take my Friday off, so I don't, go too crazy working on art. But actually, I might even pump up Mimic for tomorrow or Thursday, because it is a fun one. I mean, it's all going to be really cool. The hyena, the scarab. Take care, Alex. Have a good one. Okay, so the Yeti. I think with the Yeti, I really do want to make it a cute but scary. Like, it would be cool if I can make him look like Bigfoot, right? Because I have a Bigfoot in this game. Um, and you guys know, like, with the humanoids, I have them more sapient and stuff. I like the idea if I potentially, like, if it's more of a snow monster and less of an animal. Um, and so therefore, that's why it's a second stage. You know, just like the scarecrow guy, he's kind of humanoid, but like he clearly doesn't look sapient. I would want the Yeti to kind of feel that same way. You know, so I like the idea of the Yeti. Um, if he was something like packed together snow like an igloo, you know? Um, I'm trying to figure out the body shape. Again, he could even look like Bigfoot, but just be the cousin from across. And because that's kind of what Bigfoot is described as, right? Um, Should I do that? That could be really fun. Why don't I take a look at my Bigfoot and potentially make Bigfoot and the Yeti essentially variants of each other. Because Bigfoot is the Western variant and Yeti is the Indian Himalayan version. Right? Let's bring them over and let's see how this works. Like card game like Illustrials. Remind me of Illustrials. It sounds familiar. Can't help but imagine the abominable snowman from the Rudolph movie. What a throwback. Let's go ahead and you guys like this idea? So I'm doing like regional variant in the first generation. So it will I would do it in a way where yeah, so I'll make like the snow makes his body even more buffed out maybe. So maybe he's like he might be skinny underneath all the snow. You know? Big hands as a yeah, it could be something like that, right? Um awesome idea. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Um and that way I kind of cover his eyes with snow. He's like the grumpy version of his cousin, which could open up an evolution down the line, which is what I was thinking. You know what? I might make instead of Frost Giant, I might save the Frost Giant for like the next game. I was thinking maybe I do. This is like a rock structure, right? What if I did? I think this is my take. I gotta figure out what I need this to be, right? I don't know what this is gonna be. If anybody knows any kind of rocky kind of thing, I think this evolves into Golem. I think this evolves into like another stone golem type of thing. And this becomes Cherufe. You know what I mean? Because I like the idea of the Yeti becoming a frost giant. That makes a lot of sense to me. What do we think, chat, about that? Like Digimon, some of them have variants of each other. That's true, exactly. That would definitely be kind of the case here. You know what? So what if he is a cousin, and so it's less Bigfoot. So maybe he's like a little shorter legs. And so that way, when one becomes King Kong and the other becomes Frost Giant, you know, Ice Giant, Jotun, and Fire Giant Surtur. But Jotun is a general concept of the Ice Giant, right? Unless I'm wrong. And then the Fire Giant Surtur is a specific character. Is the Yeti made of rock? No, he's like, you know, just like this guy. Like an ape guy. But he's covered in snow instead of moss or foliage. Although that might change just a little bit. I want to give this guy like horns to look like a yak. But then my Frost Giant's gonna have like Viking horns anyway. Maybe you could have small horns. I've seen some Yetis have like... Oh, you know what? Maybe he'll have like ram. Yeah, that's cute. Jotun are the nose Frost Giants? Yeah, so I would have to make it Ymir and Surtur. That's why I would do Fire Giants. But yeah, I think I've already sold myself. I think I want to do Talos, Automaton. Who's Talos? Is that a specific character? Automaton is kind of generic if I can connect it to. That's why, like, say for example, the biblical golem. Um. Oh, you know what's cool? He's like a snowman here, but then his now it looks like his body is made of like snow, like like the three orbs of a snowman, orbs, snowballs. Talos is from Jason the Argonauts. That's a movie, right? I mean, it is an iconic movie, but I think I can get a more mythological kind of stone golem. Frost giant, soot giant, Nafna. Ooh. So, yeah, it would be Sharufe and somebody else, and I evolved this guy into a frost giant. Or, I mean, there could be another evolution for this guy who is not an ice giant. Is there another kind of icy kind of entity a Yeti could evolve into, chat, that you guys know about? I'm surprised how quickly and easily this came to me. Oh, you know what? Actually, it would probably be blue. Would be more fun. And you know what? I'll give him the same kind of like black kind of fur, but just make this blue. Oh, Talos is an actual Greek? Oh, wait, so can you tell me more about it? Uh, Argylmir, in Norse mythology, the first being, a giant who was created from the drops of water that formed when the ice of Niflheim. I'd still want. Hmm. It needs to have like a good descriptor that I can kind of use, That like tells me about the world. Not the world, but like the design itself. Like Sharufa is pretty easy. Right? It's like a giant stone kind of thingy. You know? Hephaestus? But like, what does he look like? What's his shtick? So Bigfoot's gonna be taller than his cousin, the Yeti. Well, does he need to be taller? No, maybe. It makes sense, right? Bigfoot into King Kong. Is there another kind of thing in mythology that works? Because now that I think about it, Yeti's getting the short end of the stick if his cousin gets to evolve into King Kong. And they're not like equals. So maybe I replace Bigfoot with something else that evolves into King Kong. But I mean, again, not that serious. There's one I can think of, but it's from HB. Yeah, it's probably not. Uller is known as the god of snow. Talos is also made by the Golden Acre blood. The myth describes Talos as a giant bronze man. Oh, protect the island free. He marched around the island. Okay, if he's made from bronze. Oh, wait, I think I know what I can do. Maybe I can evolve it into a mythology about crystals, like rock that forms into like diamonds or crystals. Kind of like that storyline as well. you know, pressure forming and whatnot. I'm sure there's got to be something with that. Loki's a frost giant. Could make a frost giant. I mean, I probably don't want to do Loki in specific. But I see what you're saying. Because I want to make. Because this guy, yeah, this guy could evolve into a general frost giant. That makes a ton of sense. Um, but yeah, I'm just now trying to think what I could do for the other line. It's like Charufe is one fire giant, and the other could be yeah, like a diamond or another like stone kind of giant, like a automaton. Ooh, something like a Warforged could be a very fun thing, right? So the Warforged could be like not that it'd be Warforged, but I'm sure there's something that's like a machine man. That could be order. And then I would have it so that the other design, Chirufe, would be like chaos. You know? So it could be like an automaton. Was Talos like a Warforged essentially? Is that what I'm kind of getting, or am I wrong about that? I like this guy's face a lot. Love Warforged. It does. It kind of does sound like Warforged. So maybe Talos could be the third. If he's really meant to be like an automaton that was created, out of bronze, that could be a fun character that like represents order. And then the other guy, Chirufe, is chaos. And then I evolve. Um, Maybe it could be another line. No, the ice giant. Yeah, because I don't think the other giants are as popular as say the fire giants or the ice giants, right? Like the Jotun were like the premier guys, right? Especially because again, he was like connected to Loki, like he was the son of the Jotun. What I could do is like I'll add these like little crystals just to like break up the design. Um, Agropelter is a fearsome critter monkey that has long arms. It can evo into Kong. Hmm. And then I save like Bigfoot for another. Then maybe yeah, I could save Skunk Ape into Bigfoot for another thing, and then maybe make Aggro Pelter. Again, if you guys, I'll mark it down. But also again, at the end of the day, I also don't mind if I end up keeping um Bigfoot. But like, you see how I mean? Like, it kind of feels like weird to be like, okay, Bigfoot gets to be a starter evolution, and then its cousin is just like, well, I guess it'll become like an ice giant down the line. It's not the worst thing in the world. I do like that they're like variants in the same game. That's fun. Being another branch, you could pull from Greek and have a Cyclops. That's true, but I have a whole Cyclops line in mind because There's a lot of cool yokai that have a single eye, so I'd rather do it like that. Agriculture doesn't seem to fit with Kong, even if they are Xotempo. How is that? Here's some critter monkey. I mean, because when you think about it, uh, Bigfoot makes sense, right? It's like a humanoid ape, just like King Kong, but like, it's a shy kind of cryptid, so it doesn't have like the same rage. Um, Cyclops, I believe, were very large. I believe they were very large. So I was even thinking like, um, there's a Brazilian cyclopean giant as well. I think it's called like Mapi Napu or something. But I think it's crazy. I could be wrong, but I believe it had it has like an eye for a belly button. That's why it's a cyclops. I might be lying. I don't remember exactly. Slender, wiry body, the villainous face of an ape, and arms like and muscular whiplashes, which can snap off dead branches like shells from a 6-inch gun. Slender, wiry body, arms like muscular whiplash. I don't know. That sounds more fitting than King Kong. Now that I mean, than Bigfoot. Now that I think about it. Yeah, giant lore is very cool. There's a lot. I mean, I think in general, like most mythology are so freaking dope. Um, it's always like all these things where the gods like sleep with each other and they're very messy. Which I'm like, it's no wonder humans are so flawed. Like our gods across mythologies are flawed as well. But that's why that makes for fun stories because, I mean, spoiler alert, a lot of these things weren't real, and it's like people putting themselves or the concepts and elements of people they know into these kind of stories. Um, so therefore, it ends up being more relatable. Each lessons and all that kind of stuff. I don't love the pose, but again, it's a very first start to the Yeti. Actually, you know what? It would need to be. He is like his cousin. It's gonna have to be lifted up. Oh, that's more funnier too. Got like massive traps of the snow. I want to figure out a way to do Attack on Titan and DD using giants. Oh, that'd be so ill. I feel like it's definitely possible. All right, the two cousins. Obviously, they need a little bit of work. Um, One has big fists and the other has big feet. So you know what? Now it makes me want to make Bigfoot a two-stage line, and then I do a replacement for Bigfoot is part of the King Kong line. Is AOT Xotempo? I mean, maybe. Um, but yeah, in reality, I don't know thematically how it would work because it would be very humanoid designs. I'd have to like connect it to an animal or something. Ron did it in an amazing way. True Green 7. where um it was like basically, if I'm correct, it was like um kind of like some sort of creature lived inside, and then it was like it summoned like sand or like earth around to become a giant. Because I think giants in the Bible and whatnot were made of clay and earth anyway. So the whole point of AOT is like there's like a whole mythos to it. So um there isn't any mythology connected, and AOT not work as well with I can't help but think of the winged jaw titan could work. Yeah, but that's just it's not iconic enough, right? Like it would have to be it could be a general honestly like it would probably be less of a specific character and more the concept of a cannibalistic giant, which isn't, exclusive to AOT, right? That kind of stuff exists all the time. Like I think Cyclops in itself was like a cannibal, which was a giant, right? Um, and moreover, it's the concept of shifting, right? Is the main thing of AOT, not so much the creatures, right? Um, yeah, colossal are armored, but again, like, what would be the pitch, right? Like, it's definitely iconic enough. It's one of the most, popular. Oh, I kind of like the hooked out horns too. Um, but but yeah, like it would need to be the shifting part that's more iconic. Um, and in general, they're basically giants is the main thing, right? Um, yeah. What is everyone's favorite without spoiling it for people? Um, Aaron, classic, cool. I gotta say, I think I like the Armor Titan the best because it just felt the most cohesive from a design point of view. Like he felt menacing because of the. I mean, as we know, they're pilots, right? Essentially, it's mecha with like body gore and stuff. Um, but ultimately, like who is driving the mecha made it like their own, right? Then certain things like the colossal titan, it's not like you could really put a lot of personality into it. Your whole shtick is just walking because you're so massive. You do so much damage by heat alone. The only titans mythology not even huge in mythology. Um, yeah, I agree. He was awesome. He was great. All right, it's almost 9:30, so I'm gonna start wrapping it up. Um, I do like the idea of making this. Oh, you know what? Maybe I could just do. Hmm. It's either they could be a split Evo. What? Because on one hand, I don't see that they offer too much. Maybe I'll just keep him as the second stage because what's the point of doing two similar kind of characters? You know. So I'll just keep him as the second. I like how this guy turned out a lot. Um, ancient prehistoric creature that could work. Yeah, I mean, that'll be for a long time, you know, like that. It's not something that's super necessary. Hallucigenia? What a crazy cool name. I might have to buff up Bigfoot because this guy got a nice. I love how he came out. I'm so glad I made him like a variant. Like it's gonna be very cute from the mythos of the world, you know. Um, cool. So I finished the abominable snowman. I did this guy, um, the slide guy. Um, you know what? Let me just do. Got his name because of the way it looks. I mean, I don't think you're joking, but what I don't really understand how a hallucinogenic looks. You know, like I'm having trouble picturing what does that look like. These guys can't be no bigger than like humans, I think. Um, you could make another famous, well-known ape. I don't have any. Take care, JC. Thank you for hanging out. I'm calling it anyway. It's about 9:30. Um, did you guys enjoy today's stream? I'm very glad I essentially got four down, even though one of them was very simple. Which is the guy on screen now. Um, but what else? Make sure you guys leave a like. All right. Look forward to tomorrow's. Um, I want to do the same thing, right? Where I work on adjusting more designs. Like I said, like this guy, yeah, he's a cute blobfish, but I need it to fit thematically as far as mythology. I don't really have anything in mind for him. Same with the seahorse. He was just kind of created to be the seahorse. Same with the mushroom. He doesn't really have a mythological connection yet. Um, so yeah, um, I updated this guy because he was before a small wolf, but it didn't really fit into anything. So he became the fur-bearing trout, which makes sense to become a wolf. Um, but yeah, pretty excited. It's just getting more and more real. Yeah, that's just how I roll, I guess, right? Yeti looks awesome and strong, good sizes. Um, but yeah, it could be Agropelter. Honestly, it's the vibe that matters the most. Like monkey and ape thingy that's like kind of violent or whatever. I'm gonna look it up. But again, I'm not against Bigfoot. Bigfoot could show up in a second game if I wanted to. Um, oh shit, Agropelter kind of looks like. Kind of reminds me of the Demogorgon. It looks very cool. I might have to make it a future Xotempo. If I don't make it the preview, not preview. If I don't make it the prevo, um, I think for sure it'd be really cool to do a very like I would definitely do a creature like this at some point. Um, I think that'd be really cool. Um, but all right, cool guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you as always. Make sure you leave a like. Um, two-stage lines almost complete. At least this part. I'm gonna have to come back down here and work on another. Yeah, you know what? So it'll only be let's see. If I do 1 week or 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4, 5, 6. I've got 2 days this week and then another. So yeah, it'll still take a while. Sounds like a monster. Yeah, it's a pelter. So it's throwing shards of trees. The wolf supposed skull? Maybe. It might be skull. I gotta figure out a wolf that I can fit as the second stage. Um but yeah, I'm gonna call it, you guys. Thank you as always. Um I will see you guys tomorrow with something. It might be the mimic, it might be the hyena, it might be the kefri. I'll see how I feel, what I feel most inspired to take on. Again, make sure you guys leave a like. Greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment on the VOD if you get more ideas or prevos and stuff like that. It's always helpful. And I will catch you all for the next one. Take care and good night. I appreciate you. Peace.